Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's JacksFan98 back again with another video, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the former Ohio State quarterback now playing with the Cleveland Browns, Terrell Pryor, trying to make the transition from quarterback to wide receiver. Now, Terrell Pryor has played with a number of NFL teams. He had to cut his career short at Ohio State by going into the supplemental draft due to some problems with the NCAA. And since he entered the supplemental draft, he started with the Oakland Raiders and had a good amount of success. Nothing amazing, but he played solid. And he's bounced around with a bunch of NFL teams since. He's played with the Seattle Seahawks, the Cincinnati Bengals, most recently with the Cleveland Browns. He might have played for a few others there. I might have missed a few, but currently he's playing with the Cleveland Browns, and he's trying to make the switch to wide receiver. Terrell Pryor is a really big quarterback, and he's 6'4", 233 pounds. That's a solid size for a quarterback. And as a wide receiver, that puts him up around the same size as players like Calvin Johnson, who are 6'5", 240 pounds. And he also runs a 4.3 840-yard dash. There aren't a lot of people with that size and speed combination. And a lot of people do talk about how great of an athlete Terrell Pryor is. And that's true. He does have the size and he does have the straight line speed. But one thing you really have to look at as a wide receiver is quickness, route running ability, and quickness in and out of cuts. And when Terrell Pryor was entering the supplemental draft, he did a workout. And as you can see the stats there, he ran a very, very slow shuttle where he ran in 4.3 seconds. That put him towards the bottom of quarterbacks. Now, the wide receivers are supposed to be a lot quicker than the quarterbacks, so if he's at the bottom of the quarterbacks, that would have put him about last with the wide receivers, and that's just in the supplemental draft. Not even imagining the players, like the players who actually got drafted high in the NFL draft. And also, he ran a slow three-cone drill in 7.2 seconds. And that goes along a lot with what I just said about his shuttle. It's very slow. It was towards the bottom of the receivers. I mean, the quarterbacks, and it's definitely going to be towards the bottom of the receivers, probably last among them. And a lot of people, when they look at a quarterback that size and they see that speed, they know he has straight line speed. And so they assume he's just going to be fast out of his cuts and everything. But that's not necessarily true. When you're 6'4" and 233 pounds, it's hard to change directions really quickly. And he's probably going to drop a little bit of weight trying to play receiver. But still, at that size, especially that height, and height's something you can't change, it's hard to get in and out of your breaks because you have so much of your body to change directions. It's really hard to do. And people look at players like Megatron and assume that since Megatron did it, everyone else can do it. But Megatron is an insanely good athlete. And Terrell Pryor is a good athlete too, but he's not the same level as Megatron. Megatron was built to be a receiver. And another thing people forget to look at is they look at all these other quarterbacks who have made the transition to play in the NFL, such as Mike Brown or Julian Edelman, and they think that since they did it, everyone else can do it. But you look at those two quarterbacks turned receivers, and they're small. Like Mike Brown's about 5'11", 6'1". I can't exactly remember. And Julian Edelman's not a big receiver either. So they're receivers you can throw screen passes to, and they can get by on their quickness and their speed and everything. And like I said, Terrell Pryor has the speed, but he's going to be one of those receivers you're going to throw the ball up to in the red zone. That's why you want a big receiver, so they can be a red zone threat and they can be physical. But when they play quarterback, again, quarterback's a position that there's not a lot of physicality involved. I mean, sure, there are some quarterbacks who fight off tacklers in the pocket, but usually a quarterback's not the guy who's going to fight for the ball and everything. And also, it's with only a 31-inch vertical. I mean, a 32-inch vertical is good, but again, people are comparing him to players like Calvin Johnson, who jumped a much higher vertical than just 31 inches. And that's going to be really hard if Terrell Pryor is going to be relied on as just a red zone threat. And with that lack of quickness, it's going to be really hard for Pryor to get open and run good routes. And that's another thing he's not used to doing. He's been playing quarterback the whole time, so he's not used to running these routes. And switching to a new position in the NFL is a lot more difficult than people think. It's hard changing positions in general, much less at the highest level of football against the best athletes. And then to expect him to beat out players who've been playing receivers their whole life, it's really hard to expect someone to do that. And that is why I don't exactly think that Terrell Pryor is going to be the best wide receiver in the NFL because of that major lack of quickness. That's something you really need as a wide receiver. You need to get in and out of your cuts quickly, and you need to be able to just run precise routes. That's the biggest thing of being a receiver. Now, and also people don't know anything about his hands. How good are his hands? We haven't seen that. And that's two of the biggest things as a receiver. You need good hands and you need to be quick. Quickness, in my opinion, is more important than speed as a wide receiver, because if you're quick, you can get open. And when you're open, you can just catch the ball when you're open, and then you get yards. It doesn't matter how much you can really run after the catch, because if you're able to get open past the first down marker, it doesn't matter if you run after the catch, because you've already caught the ball when you have the first down, and that's what matters. Getting open is what matters, and I don't think Terrell Pryor has that quickness ability to get open. Also, with these physical stats, if he was to be a good wide receiver, why haven't teams in the NFL done it before? I mean, it's not like the Seattle Seahawks needed somebody to replace Russell Wilson, and they needed a receiver. Why didn't they put him there? Well, that means it's because of the lack of quickness. That's why people didn't do that. If he had all of the tools, teams would not be afraid to move him at wide receiver. That's why he hasn't played receiver before, and that's why I don't think he's going to have very much success at receiver now. Alright guys, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also leave down in the comments any series you want me to start doing. I have a lot of things I can really start doing, but I want to know what you guys want. I want to cater to you guys. You guys are the audience, and you guys are great. I'm really thankful for all the new subscribers I've gotten, all the viewers I have. Really thankful for you guys. And also, leave down in the comments any new teams you want me to do on the top breakout players for each team. Now, I don't think I'm going to have time to do every single one of the 32 teams. That's why I want you guys to request which team you want me to do, so I'll make sure to get the teams that you guys all want to see my opinions on out there just for you guys, so I'll be able to put out the content you guys want to watch. And thanks again, and again, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Later, guys. Peace.